First thing, always look at the station. You want to make sure that everything is in its proper place. We have our knife, our steel, we have our usable and unusable containers, as well as containers to hold the finished product. We want to take the potato, which is already pre-peeled. We want to position it in the middle of the cutting board. Always look at the cutting board and parallel the potato so that it's even and flush with the bottom of the cutting board. Bring it up slightly, reposition your body, and go into the cut. First thing we want to do, clear off the ends. Always use your rubber spatula, usable ways. Spatula back into the water so that it can remove the starch and continue to square off the potato. Proper positioning, even cut, flat down, rotate, square again. Make sure that you put all your scraps into the water as soon as possible. These scraps can be used for potato mousseline, whipped potatoes, or for other applications. The 1/16 cut, the fine julienne and the fine brunoise. Knife in hand, fingers tucked back, thumb in place, proper motion. Now, we want the stick to be 2 inches or 2.5 inches, and a good rule of thumb is that 2 inches is about from the tip of my finger to the middle of my finger there. It's about 2 inches. So we're gonna go just a little bit larger than that. So we wanna crop it off at about 2.5 inches long. Those pieces can be used for other things. Also, once you make that first initial cut, use that as a point of reference. Use that as a piece, measure off the rest. Now we want to go into the steak. Want to lay it flat, reposition your body, hands in place, nice even cut. Now let's evaluate. When you gather the cuts, hold them in your hand, look at the length. You want to make sure that they're even across the top and bottom. As you can see, those are quite uniform. Then you want to hold them up, look and see if they're all square. And as you can see there, they're all uniform. And that is your fine julienne cut. You want to lay them flat, make sure they're not overlapping, line them up. First cut, always remove. The purpose of removing that first cut, because the outer edge of the first cut will most times be inconsistent. We want to start off with a very smooth and very consistent edge. Reposition your body, hand in place, at the tip of the knife, go into making the 1/16 cut for the brunoise. And that is the fine brunoise. In this chapter, we're going to be featuring the 1/8 cut, which is the julienne and the brunoise. As you're working, just inspect your cuts. Continue. Very nice, clean, fluid move. Once again, stack, inspect your cuts. Cuts look pretty good. Once again, stack them. We want to work with a nice, clean flow, nice system, left to right. From here, we're going to take just 2. Once again, reposition our hand and knife. Make sure they're flush, make sure they're square. And we're going to go into the stick cut. Again, evaluate your cuts. Best thing to do is grab them, hold them, look at them, see if they're square. If you have any that's off, remove them. Quite consistent there. You want to place those in the water. Once again, you have a couple end pieces. May be a little difficult to cut. We're going ahead, put that into the usable waste. Once again, we're going to continue with the stick cuts, reposition ourselves. Now we want to go into the dice, okay? You want to line it up again, reposition yourself into the cuts. First slice, always remove. I'm going to use our bench scraper now. I'm going to bring them together, evaluate them. But overall, quite consistent. We want to place that into the water there, okay? Whenever handling your bench scraper, you want to make sure that you keep it in a little water so that you can collect any of the extra starch that you're picking up as you're removing your product. So what we have here is a little container of water. We got our bench scraper in there. We're going to let that sit until we're able to use it again. Make sure it's clean. Clean off our cutting board. This next chapter will demonstrate the 1/4 cut, which is the small dice and the bâtonnet. Nails in, hands tucked, knife in the proper position. We want to go 2 to 2.5 inches. So we're going to mark it and use this one as a guide for the remainder. Now all the cuts are uniform in length as well as in size. Have our bâtonnet. From here, we're going to the dice for the small dice. Remember, getting too close can be a little dangerous. Don't be afraid to stop. Remove those ends for something else. In this chapter, we're going to showcase the medium dice, which is the 1/2 inch dice, as well as the Paisan. If you took the time to sharpen your knife, you want to make sure that you clean the blade so that there's no particles or any metal debris on the blade as well. Okay? Here we have a block here, already cut of a butternut squash. Once again, reposition and go into the cut. Straight down. Nice even cut there. Nice plain, uniform all around. This is one that we want to work with. Now we want to go into the stick cut. Once again, look at your cuts, evaluate them, fairly uniform. This piece we want to make sure we put in the usable waste. Because of the sticks, they're a little large, you want to make sure that you don't overstack. I would never ever go no farther than just 2 nice and flat on the cutting board so that I have a little bit more control, a little bit more consistency with it. And as you can see here, very nice uniform cuts. Okay? Once again, bench scraper, evaluate your cuts, hold them into the water there. Now we want to go to a Paisan. A Paisan is 1/2 by 1/2, 1/8 inch slices. and nice thin slices. Now be mindful, the sharpest part and the thinnest part of the blade is from the tip to the point. So that's the part of the knife that we want to make sure that we use.